A very good evening. You are joining Prime TV News with me, Vibhuda Vijay Bandara. First, let's have a look at today's headlines. Buddhists countrywide mark Ilpura Poya Day. The presidential media unit denounces false propaganda on social media networks. Sajid says he is committed to eliminate poverty. Gotabaya promises to transform economy. Presidential election campaigns end at midnight tomorrow. Evo Morales accepts political asylum in Mexico. And now for the news in detail. Today is the Il Full Moon Poya Day. A complete range of religious programs has been organized at Buddhist temples throughout the island. By the first Il Full Moon Poya Day after the enlightenment of the Exalted One, there were 60 arhats excluding the Buddha himself. Buddha dispatched them in various directions to propagate the sublime Dhamma on an Il Full Moon Poya Day. The Il Full Moon Poya Day is the last Poya of the month of Katina Chivara. The Il Full Moon Poya Day also marks ordination of Jatila brothers. The Buddha proceeded to Uruvela to be of service to the Jatila brothers who lived in Aramayas along the river Neranjana. The Sadaham Yatra program was held under the aegis of President Maithripala Sirisena at the President's house in Fort. The 56th Sadaham Yatra Dhamma sermon was delivered by Venerable Aludgama Pannasaratera. Many ministers and parliamentarians were present at the event. The ITN Media Network conducted its Savanak Ras program at the Battaramulla Siri Sudassana Ramaya temple. The meritorious activity was carried out on the instructions of the chief incumbent of the Viharaya, Venerable Dr. Mirisse Dhammika Thera. A number of programs including Dhamma discussions and Dhamma preaching were telecast throughout the day over the ITN under the Savanak Ras program. The Sasana Loka program of the ITN FM was conducted at the Siri Sudassana Rama Viharaya of Battaramulla. Dhamma books were presented to the novice monks who are studying at the Pirivena, and the parents of the monks were also felicitated.
මාව වඩාගෙන කිරිපෙව් අම්මා විඳිනා දුක නැත ලෝකයේ නිම්මා මාල පොඩක් වෙල්ලේ නැති අම්මා පංචායුධයක් මගේ ගෙල දැම්මේ.
The presidential media unit states that some social media news items on the president and his family members are baseless. Some baseless news items published on the social media networks had stated that the president was ready to express regret over some of the decisions taken during the last 5 years of his administration on the 18th of November. The statement issued by the presidential media unit further stated that it is regrettable that propaganda is such false propaganda at the final stage of the presidential election campaign to gain some political mileages. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says the government is committed to create IT centres in suburbs like Negombo, Moratuwa, Ratmalana, etc. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made this statement while addressing a public rally in Dehiwala. He added that the country is moving towards a new economy based on IT. He noted that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has no plan to carry out such initiatives. He said that Sajid Premadasa is going to be elected as the president to fulfill that requirement and make the country IT savvy. Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa says that the country's sports sector will be liberated from match fixers and gaming businessmen. He was speaking at a public rally in Mahara.
හැමම එකට එක්වනාද දිනයේ සිව්සිය දහසින් හදවත් බැඳුනා එක්ව ඉදිරියට යන මඟ හැදුනා.
The rally was organised in Maharakadawatha to uphold the victory of presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa. A large number of UN peers were present at the rally supporting the presidential candidate. The presidential candidate said that people like Arjuna Ranatunga, who led the Sri Lanka cricket team to back the World Cup in 1996, have joined their hands to ensure the victory of Swan symbol in the upcoming presidential election. He added that no space will be allowed to corrupted elements to ruin the cricketing sector in his future rule. He also promised to create a new era in which Cricket World Cup to be won by Sri Lanka. Another rally was held at the Green Park ground in Negombo to confirm the victory of Sajid Premadasa. A large number of people were present at the rally. Sajid Premadasa said that fully pledged harbours will be constructed for the benefit of the fishermen. He stated that facelift will be given to the tourism industry in Negombo. Sajid Premadasa highlighted that the debt burden of the people in the tourism sector will be eased by him. He promised that wrongdoers who have been sentenced for murdering, raping and drug trafficking will never be pardoned under his future rule. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa launched the Performing Arts and Cultural Affairs Charter at the Water's Edge in Battaramulla. The charter has been compiled to warrant progress in local arts. Sajid Premadasa signed the charter and publicised it. Addressing the event, veteran actress Dulika Marpanes said that country's artists do not need any financial support from the government but a professional background for their work. She pointed out that once such a situation has been guaranteed, no artists need to seek the help of governments. SLFP presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he is capable of improving the economy of the country encompassing all the sectors. The SLFP presidential candidate was speaking at a public meeting held in Kandy. The public meeting, organised to uphold the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa in the upcoming presidential election, was held at the Central Market premises in Kandy. It was organised by the MPs Mahindanand Alutgamage, Dilum Amunugama, Keheli Rabukwella and Lohan Ratwatte. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa and party leaders representing the SLPP participated in this meeting. Addressing the gathering, Gotabaya Rajapaksa further said that massive infrastructure development projects, for instance expressways, airports, harbours, were flowering during the previous Rajapaksa administration. He noted the incumbent government came into power, all the projects were halted and country's development was subjugated. Gotabaya Rajapaksa also highlighted that Colombo was the fastest growing city then. He pointed out that as they worked with capable and qualified personnel in the development initiatives, goals were achieved. The presidential candidate said that he has accomplished all the responsibilities entrusted on him and he is ready to fulfill the duties of the presidency perfectly. The presidential hopeful stated that the country's economy should be transformed by giving priority to technology. Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that many sectors including agriculture, plantation, tourism, should be introduced cutting-edge technology and attract more foreign direct investments. He also promised to create more jobs for the youth of the country. Presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa also participated in a meeting held at Kottagala. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, addressing the gathering, stated that in his manifesto, the government has presented a systematic program to improve the infrastructure of the plantation sector and improve the education level of the estate sector children. The public rally was organized under the theme of functioning country with a successful vision. It was organized by MP Arumugam Tondaman, opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa, public representatives and a large number of people were present at the meeting. Presidential election campaign ends at midnight tomorrow. Accordingly, major rallies in which the presidential candidates are addressing the public will be held tomorrow. The final public rally of presidential campaign of candidate Sajid Premadasa will be held at Maradana at 5 p.m. tomorrow. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuni is expected to hold its last rally at Somavira Chandrasiri grounds at Piliyandala at 4 p.m. The final rally of the NPP will take place at Maharagama under the patronage of the presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake. Presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake says his sole aim is to create a country free from fraud and corruption. The meeting was held in Panaduru to support the victory of presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake. Several public representatives of the JVP also expressed their views. Presidential candidate Anura Kumara Dissanayake noted that under his administration, no public property will be misused. He added that the embezzled public assets will acquire and corrupt elements linked with such incidents will be punished. Anura Kumara Dissanayake also observed that he has no axe to grind with Mahinda Rajapaksa or Ranil Wickremesinghe at a personal level, but they need to be dealt under the law regarding the public assets. Anura Kumara Dissanayake stated that rule of law will be consolidated under his future rule and no person will be put above the law. The Met Department announces that showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island after 1 p.m. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 to 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in Sabaragamu, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle, Matara and Kalutura districts. Light showers can be expected in eastern coastal areas in the morning too. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in Sabaragamu, central and Uva provinces during the morning. The general public are requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea areas, extending from Puttalam to Hambantota via Colombo and Galle. Few showers may occur in the sea areas to the east of the island. With that, we end today's Prime TV News Bulletin. Prime TV News will return tomorrow. And in the meantime, make www.itnnews.lk your go-to source for the very latest in news at home and overseas. Have a pleasant day. Good night.